So here we are on a testing week, and now you get classes without your teachers. I'm sure you're very excited. Regardless that we're not here, Zaption is going to give us a way to actually make sure that you did view the lesson. That way we can count your attendance. All right, we are going to continue working on writing. One, because I know a lot of teachers are giving more writing assignments at the end of the third marking period and during the fourth. And two, because it's a skill you'll use for the rest of your life. Last week, we started on just using basic sentence structures, which was capitalization and using punctuation. This week, we're going to focus on how to write a compound sentence. If you already know how to write a compound sentence, great. This is going to be a great review. So here we are. We're looking at a review of a simple sentence. So what is a simple sentence? Let's look at an example. The dog slept on the sofa. If you remember from last week, what we're seeing here is we have a subject, the dog, an action, which is the verb, slept, and a predicate, so an ending, on the sofa. We could have the TV was turned on. Again, the TV, which is the what or the who, was an action turned on. My foot is asleep. The what or the who is my foot. What's going on is the is. What's happening? It's asleep. But remember, a sentence doesn't have to be big. Hello. It's an actual full sentence, surprisingly enough, but still conveys a subject. So, how do we make a bigger sentence? We just did simple sentences. You could look all around you right now and come up with a simple sentence. I'm listening to Zaption. I'm annoyed by my teacher. I am sitting in a chair. All simple sentences. But here's an example. I sat on the sofa. But we could add more detail, right? While it was raining, I sat on the sofa. Is while it was raining a sentence? No. While it was raining is not a sentence. That is just giving more detail. I sat on the sofa. You can add more detail by putting in additional information on a sentence, but that does not make it a compound sentence. Again, what does the phrase while it was raining tell us about the sentence? All it did was tell us more information about the sentence. While it was raining, I sat on the sofa. While it was raining, I played in the park. Okay, it's just giving you more detail about the simple sentence. So again, our mission is how to create a bigger sentence. What is a compound sentence? You'll notice this pictorial or picture I have on this slide is going to be on the next slide because I absolutely love it. You're going to have a sentence, you're going to add a fanboy or a conjunction, and then you're going to have another sentence. We'll take a look at fanboys more on the next page. But a compound sentence equals two full sentences. If the sentence on either side of the fanboy or the conjunction doesn't have a full sentence, which would again be your subject, verb, and predicate, then it's not a compound sentence. So, our simple sentence number one, the dog slept on the sofa. Simple sentence two, he snored very loudly. Look to the right in my picture. What word could you put in between these two sentences to make it make sense? For, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. Pick one of those words in your head and see which one you think would work best in between the sentences. The dog slept on the sofa. He snored very loudly. All right, so I gave you a minute to think about it. There could be a few options, but for this sentence, we're going to pick the and. The dog slept on the sofa and he snored very loudly. You could also pick other ones. It's not the only option. The dog slept on the sofa, yet he snored very loudly. Or the other one could be the dog slept on the sofa, so he snored very loudly, but it didn't, that so doesn't really work because it doesn't create, sitting on the sofa doesn't create snoring. But regardless, we're going to choose and. Again, so here's our sentence. The dog slept on the sofa and he snored very loudly. From the last slide, do you remember what word I was using instead of fanboys? What is the word and? If you guessed a conjunction, you were right. A conjunction joins two sentences. The word that this pictorial replaces, and there's a mnemonic device that goes with it clearly underneath, is fanboys. A fanboy is a conjunction, it's just the mnemonic for it. So if you remember the word fanboys, Fanboys, you can place a conjunction below each letter. F for, A for N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, or S for so. Granted, you might not remember that immediately, but we'll keep working on it. Here are those conjunctions again, okay? The fanboys are more to the left, okay? You can also do a double conjunction, which are called correlative, excuse me. So both and, if you put them together, either or, whether or, neither nor, not only but also. This will be on the next slide as well. The baby sat on the floor and she played with her toy. Either it will rain tomorrow or it won't. There's my first time using a different set of conjunctions, one from the first sentence to the second, to create a compound sentence. I'm going to choose another one similar. Not only do I love pizza, but also I love chocolate. I ate chocolate today. It was terrific. So what I want you to try to do is look at this picture and write a compound sentence yourself. Combining simple and compound sentences is very important. You cannot only write in one style. So last week you were allowed to write a paragraph up to 5 sentences using all simple sentences. This week we are not going to be doing that. Good sentences involves using a variety of sentences. You have to be able to switch back and forth between those simple and compound sentences to be the best writer you can be. Here's an example of combining sentences. Well, it was the weekend again. I realized that I really wanted to go out for a walk, but it was snowing. I couldn't believe it was snowing. It's April, I said to myself. Instead, I decided I wanted to do chores. So I went to Target and bought some things my kids needed. I also needed new shoes, since my shoes had holes in them. They were my new shoes that I took for the PowerPoint to show you guys what I was talking about. Granted, it's not an exciting paragraph, but at least it's a paragraph that's relevant to my day-to-day work. In this, there are 4 simple sentences. Can you see them? Well, it was the weekend again. I realized that I realized that I really wanted to go out for a walk, but it was snowing. We have the word but there. Fanboys. That is not a simple sentence. I couldn't believe it was snowing. Simple sentence. It's April, I said to myself. Simple sentence. Instead, I wanted to do chores. Simple sentence. So I went to Target and I bought some things my kids needed. There's that fanboys again, the word and. That's a compound sentence. I also needed new shoes since my shoes had holes in them. How about you look in this paragraph and read it again to yourself? How many compound sentences do I have? If you guessed 3, you were correct. There are 3 compound sentences. What you're going to be doing now is actually writing a paragraph to Mrs. Moyer or myself, but I want you to increase your writing style by using simple and compound sentences. This is slightly different from last week. Again, this doesn't need to be 2 sentences, that would be too short. It also doesn't need to be 10. Make sure you have more than 5 sentences is all I'm looking for. This paragraph, I know some of you are going to be curious, can be about whatever you want. You can pick any topic. But if you're somebody who says, I have no idea what to write about, here are some ideas. You could, what do you like to do on your free time? You could tell me all about it. I could then tell you that I like to do T25, or I like to go for walks with my kids, or in the summer, I like to go to the pool. How do you think the fourth marking period is going to go for you? Some people might say, man, the fourth marking period's hard for me to stay focused because it gets warmer outside and I don't want to do my work. Other people might say, man, the fourth marking period's great because I know school is going to be ending. You can tell us. Or what is something you can do to improve your overall health? Think mentally or physically. Some people might go on thinking about, I really want to start a journal, and that might be mental health. Some people might say physically they wanted to improve themselves by eating a different type of lifestyle eating choices, such as, eating healthier or not drinking soda anymore and why you wanted to do that. Or maybe you wanted to start going outside and walking more now that it's getting nicer. Regardless, there are three ideas you can write to us about. Overall, the only thing we're going for here is that we want you to write a paragraph that has simple and compound sentences. So, have a wonderful week. Enjoy your weekend. Class connects for this week again are canceled if you don't see them for myself or Mrs. Moyer. And be sure to take care of yourself and reach out if you have any questions. Mrs. Moyer and myself will probably check our emails later in the evening since there are no computers allowed in the testing center. Have a great weekend and a great week.